So we're going to take a walking meditation to the wall space of your choice. We're going to be tight in here, but I'm happy to see there is a lot of wall space. So find an area you can deal with, and let's see what we have. If you're comfortable doing handstand practice in the middle of the room, then stay in the middle.
I'll scoot you.
That's what I'm doing.
Just leave this over.
Thank you.
Okay, maybe not.
You could probably take a wall.
I'm kind of the wall. Or if there's not, what's going on?
Do you want me to take?
I'll take it. Okay. Liz, they'll be ready. Slide in. Yes.
This isn't a hot studio. We're just hot.
No. Yeah. I just have a lot of toxins. Oh,
Get everybody with that. Leaving rivers. I like that. You know, they say the fitter you are, the more you sweat.
I don't know. Is that true? Tell my wife.
Yeah,
The fitter you are, the more you sweat.
the more fit you are, supposedly, the more you sweat. That's that too.
No, but I did a spin class this morning at 7.
Wow.
It was ridiculous.
Been working it. Today's the day.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty religious spin.
So here's, everybody have a space or no? One more person needs a space. What can we do about this? We're going to make him, oh, you're good? In the middle? Perfect. You know what, let's all scoot closer.
Oh, sorry.
Let's all scoot closer, get him in there, and then let's get you back in there actually. I'll do a little split action, and you're tall enough you can do it without the wall, but let's have you, can y'all move a little bit closer and move that mat a bit, and then we can get him. We'll make the impossible possible. So that's one of the meanings of yoga. Do you know this? According to Desikachar and Krishnamacharya, which is a lineage that I follow closely, one of the meanings of yoga is making the previously unattainable attainable. Meaning, not that you could just get every single pose to happen in your body someday. It means that what you previously thought you couldn't do or weren't capable of, you can become capable of. Whether it is doing a handstand fully or meeting your limit and knowing that that's enough and being able to say that's enough for me. Where you might have thought that would be impossible before, to really be happy with yourself, even if you're not attaining every outer goal that you possibly want, that can also happen in yoga. So what's rich and real for you and where you need to be for who you are in your practice and in your life and in your relationships, you can attain that. You don't have to rely on these outer sources of fake stability and fake satisfaction and comfort any longer. You can attain that inner generation of love, of support, of I'm enough, of worthiness, regardless of if you ever get into a handstand or not. That seems, for some people, unattainable at times. And like the balance of life, we go off the rails and we come back on. And we're never going to be perfect. We're never going to never feel anything again because we're yogis. We're never going to never go through drama or act in a way that we're not proud of. We will. And expect that. But when you expect those intense sensations, you can mold them. You can hug in and embrace and decide how you want to move with them, because of them, and eventually through them with grace and integrity. And if you don't, then you begin again. And you do it again the next time. Like Maya Angelou said, I was sharing this quote with you, once I know better, I do better. She didn't say once I know better, I do perfectly. Do the best you can. So, we're going to move into a core handstand using the wall. I'm all for having the wall there for peace of mind. But what I don't want you to do is try to rock up to the wall and then start your practice. Because once you get to the wall, you're so expressed that it is very hard for you to get back into that foundation properly or the core connection, the movement of the pelvis that we need to be able to hover these poses. So what I want you to think, foundation, core, I'll lead you through it. Don't think get to the wall, think hover over my hands. Hips over arms, feet over hips. So the wall is only there should you miss that mark and go a little too far, but that's not your goal anymore. The goal is hovering. Okay? The goal, more specifically, is working where you are so fully that you get a little farther without even having to think about that or force it. So we'll take the core handstand practice. Rami, do you mind if I do that? Core handstand is meant to back you off from this kind of thing that can happen when we straighten the legs and move in. And I will tell you things in here that I'm not going to take all the time in the world to explain, but know that if I'm asking you to do something like bend your leg, there's an anatomical reason for that. There's a reason because we need to integrate more. Reach your arms out like this. Overreach your arms out of the body, so your shoulder blades spread wide apart and they're really giving out. Now in this anatomy, see if you can lift your arms up. No, right? Yet when we jump into our handstand, sometimes that happens. Because we want to get up there, so we push out of the body with straight legs and straight arms, and then we literally cannot get into the handstand. Then we get frustrated and we say, I can't do this. Well, stick your arms back out. Move them all the way into the body. Super squeeze the shoulder blades. And then see if you can lift the arms. It's a little bit, it's easier to lift, but does it feel good in the neck and shoulder area? Constriction. If you're really drawn in and then you try to lift, tension. So we don't want to express from a place of tension either. So find the balance between the two, neutral arms as if you were standing in mountain pose. Then lift your arms up. They should move easily and there should be very little tension in that back body. You all feel that? So that's the challenge of foundation pressing and core integrating. And in this case, since we're foundation on arms now, we want to keep the arm bones drawn in neutrally to their socket. We want to work then that same foundation core connection as we exhale and hop up. Why do we exhale into these poses? Have you noticed we've been doing that a lot, exhaling to hop? How are your abdominals, stronger or less strong on the exhale? Stronger. How is your low back spine, which tends to go all over the place in these poses and get that repetitive stress injury? Is it more supported or less when you exhale?
More.
So there's your answer, right? We want to exhale when we do anything that's weight bearing on spine like this as much as we can catch it in the practice. So when we come in, I'm going to have you not do the Frankenstein walk forward. I want you to back way off. Look at this. Look at that liquid leg so the foundation can work. Because if you're here and your back body is overstretched, you're going to be overstretched out of your body when you come in here. It's going to be really impossible to move that pelvis in any kind of way. Then you're overstretched, you're reaching out, and then you're overgiving in both directions, and you're going to be like this for the rest of your life. Because you saw that's not going to happen. Anatomically, you're just not going to ever be able to do that enough to get up there. So instructions, do what I have to offer you, and then see how that feels. Okay, so let's turn towards the wall. I'm going to start on hands and knees. Let's start hands and knees facing the wall. We're not even gonna really hop yet. I just want to work some foundation core. Then I'll teach you the core next time. Tuck your toes underneath behind you, unless that's uncomfortable on your knees, and keep them pointed for now. And let's take some cat-cows. Press down to the earth through your knees and hands and wide fingertips. You don't want to lose that connection to do any other work in the body. Inhale and arch the back. Draw the breath way in. Exhale, curl your tailbone. Press the breath out. Get into the belly and roll. Inhale, arch through the spine. Exhale, curl the tailbone and breathe it out. So we're going to detox now. I want you to inhale as fully as you possibly can as you offer. And curl the tailbone and exhale. Squeeze the golden egg. Exhale everything out more than you think you have. And then exhale a little bit more and hold that. And then hold that as you inhale through a rounded back. Spread the shoulder blades apart with the breath. Exhale even more breath out. So we're just in a rounded back. Just keep the round. Good. Inhale through the rounded back. Open up the shoulder blades and higher. Exhale completely out. Good. Now keep the exhale in the belly as you start to breathe a little more normally and just take the heart open. But keep the belly lifting that much. Keep the belly lifting and come to a neutral spine. So the heart opens, but the belly counterbalances that by drawing in. Do you feel a tone in your low abdominals around the navel area maybe or lower? Okay, you want to keep that feeling the whole time you're hopping up into your handstand. So we're going to press the fingertips down, press the outer ring of the palms down, and get that Hasta Bandha to lift energy up through the inner hand, inner arm, and wrap the shoulders naturally into the body and onto the back. So that's where we are. So you can press out, see how far out is, see how far 2 in is, and then find your neutral balance and keep that. Now I want you to keep the belly lifting. Lift the golden egg high. Let that action lift your knees up a few inches. Notice if you tend to overstretch your arms out of the body or lose that foundational connection as you do that. And then if you can keep the connection of your arms, lift your knees as high as you can naturally with bent legs and begin to slowly walk your feet together and forward. Shoulders stay directly over your arms. Good. Shoulders over wrists, and to get the handstand, some of you may need shoulders over the center of the palms in time, depending on your shoulder flexibility. Now lift one leg straight up to the air. Notice the whole time if you're losing that foundation hand and arm connection into the shoulder joints. Can you bend the bottom knee now and take some hops, drawing that bottom knee into the chest? Top leg stays straight. Try some hops, like we hop forward from dog now, you're hopping right over your arms. Okay? Good. Just try a few like that. Earth, shoulders into the body, core is lighting up on the exhale. Slowly come down to your knees and take a look. All right, come to your breath. So, you see how challenging it is to keep that hand, arm thing happening even as you want to express? This is the practice. So we as teachers, I see constantly people overreaching, giving their power away. And I know that they'll do that outside off the mat too. I know that that's, if they refuse to integrate or learn to contain, there's a mess going on outside as well. There's a mess and a depletion in some ways. So if you are an over-integrator where you're really strong and you're really hugging in, then you need to give a little more fluidity. If you are, but normally we're givers, especially if we're attracted to a practice like yoga. It's a heart-opening practice. We're learning about ourselves. We're offering. There's all that talk going on. Tendency is not to give yourself as much as you give out to others. So if that's your kind of tendency, that's your habit in life, practice in here the more challenging but ultimately more freeing thing. Because here's arms out of the body. You can feel it. It's an outer thing happening. And you're blocking yourself from energy coming through the foundation. We want to walk forward to the place where the heart is between the thumbs and the face is forward. The gazing point would be straight down in front of the hands in a triangle. And the feet are back here. I call this diamond pose. This is a setup for handstand to bring you into geometry of the bones to give you the best chance to do it. So the feet are back, the hands are here, and the head comes forward. It's a scary place to be. I call it the void, too. Like, you got to come into the void where it's unknown, but then use your tools. So we're going to start here in the void, and we're going to begin to create from what we know. We'll take one leg back. Now stretch this leg straight, but draw it into the body, too. So we're not kicking out and up. We're drawing in. We're drawing in and pressing down into the hands and lifting up through the belly. So eventually we're here hovering straight. If I let the belly go, I'm so fast down, it's not funny. So that's losing your power, literally. Okay? Not proverbially. Proverbially. All right? Take your downward facing dog. Let's try it from there.